this figure running through.
A skier was moving down the slope when he unexpectedly noticed something unusual.
You better watch out, you better not die, you better not crash, I'm telling you why, 'cause you told your wife you're at work.
At first, far ahead, a shadowy figure appeared to be watching from behind a tree. Its shape was difficult to make out. Sadly, the footage cuts off suddenly there, leaving whatever happened afterward entirely unclear. A hunter set up a trail camera far inside the Canadian wilderness, expecting it to record normal animals passing through. But what appeared on the footage was something else entirely. From behind the brush, an enormous figure steps into view, its size immediately hard to ignore. The creature seems restless, breaking branches and throwing them away before disappearing into the trees again. Some believe it may only be someone in a costume, while others focus on its body shape and visible strength. Witnesses claim it was nearly 7 feet tall with a build much broader than a typical person. What do you think of planned fake or real Bigfoot footage? On June 8, 2018, Danny and his wife went hiking through a nearby park while filming the landscape around them.
Did you hear that? What was it? What was that?
At first, everything appeared completely normal. But after they watched the video later, one unusual detail stood out. A dark shape seemed to be watching from behind a tree. The figure looked large and thick with an almost human-like outline. Some viewers believe it might have been a bear, though bears are uncommon in that area. Could it have been something different? Scott Carpenter returned to an isolated stretch of woods to continue his Bigfoot search. He went back to a branch formation he had built during a previous outing, but noticed it had changed.
Yeah, they're getting a little loud. I balanced a stick right here, and I actually put it underneath there, and I'll have to go back and kind of show it on the previous video. But I stuck the stick in there and balanced it, and the balance stick has been pulled out. It's laying on the ground and it's been snapped in two. See where it's been snapped? I don't know where the other half is. There's the lower half. I'd wedged it in there, so I don't think the wind blew it out or snapped it in two.
One balancing branch that had been tightly set in position was now on the forest floor, broken into two pieces. One section remained close by. The other was gone. Scott studied the fracture and said it did not seem caused by wind or normal decay. He noted that other researchers had described similar interference before, with formations intentionally moved, damaged, or taken apart. While he pushed through the forest, soft rustling and branch snaps carried between the trees. The air felt tense, as if he was no longer alone. Then, without warning, he spotted motion.
I saw movement. Something darted behind this tree or darted in this area. Scared the crap out of me. Black. Large. Looked like I saw his trailing arm. See? Or his butt. Of course, there won't be anything here. No sign. No footprints.
Something slipped behind a tree and disappeared into the growth. From there, it looked dark and heavy, briefly showing what resembled the motion of an arm or the curve of a backside before vanishing between the trunks. Scott quickly moved toward that area, but at first, he still saw nothing clear, including no obvious tracks.
Alright, it's possible footfall right there. See that? There we go. See, look, this is just barely, you can just barely tell it. There it is. Okay, there we go. I'm not a total buffoon. There's a footprint right here. I'll have to dissect it for you because you can barely see it, but I'll show it to you. Right up here's the toes. Right there's the heel mark. That's a big old boy too. Shit. I need a partner. Anyway, excuse the French. Right here's the toes. You see where the earth is disturbed. See, look right here. And stuff. Look there. That's me. See? The toes hit here. The heel dug in here. Foot's right there. I'm not stopping to measure this thing because I'm too freaking spooked. But I'm gonna put my boot's 13 inches long. That's a good 3 inches longer than my boot. So that's a 16, 17 inch track. And like I said, right here's the heel mark. Let me clean this out, maybe you can see it. See it now? I'll try to highlight it. But you can definitely see the toe marks here. He dug his toes in. Right there's his footprint, one of them.
A little farther ahead, though, he found a defined mark in the mud. He crouched down, brushed away loose material, and studied the imprint. The track appeared to show separate toe and heel details, including a deep heel mark and claw-like toe breaks where the soil had been pushed apart. Beside his own boot, the mark looked much larger. Using his boot for rough comparison, Scott estimated that the track extended far past his size, 13 sole, measuring 16 to 17 inches. Its depth and sharp outline suggested significant weight had pressed into the ground. He photographed the print and emphasized the details, pointing out the toe depressions and strong heel impression. Standing among broken branches and quiet woods, Scott was shaken. A snapped balancing stick, a brief view of a large dark shape, and an oversized footprint in the mud all left him convinced something had passed through that forest that day. Jared spent his birthday by himself in a secluded Idaho woodland where the roads into the area were shut, and he never encountered another person all day. That afternoon, he sent up his new drone to capture the ridges and the silent forest below. The first shots looked calm, wide passes over trees and empty paths, until a strange detail appeared later in the footage.
Farragut State Park, and I had all the roads were closed, so I was pretty much the only one back there. I hadn't seen any cars coming through. Beautiful views. I hadn't seen anybody or anything until right here, and I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit, slow it down, and you can just see this figure running through. This is in slow motion, and then a little bit later you'll see it in between the trees running through at full speed. It's very quick, but
near the top of the tree line close to the middle of the shot, a dark figure suddenly leaves cover and runs off through the woods. It moves upright and quickly, passing between the trunks in an area without any visible trail. No other people were nearby, no vehicles were present, and no sounds explained the sighting. The figure seemed too big and too fast to be a bear traveling on all fours, while its upright movement appeared human-like except for its size and stride. It disappeared from view and slipped back into the forest. After searching the area carefully, Jared found it empty. Nothing was discovered that could explain what his drone had filmed. The footage remains unexplained. On May 18, 2025, a trail camera positioned deep in the forest captured something unusual. The precise location was not disclosed, though reports say it was somewhere in the United States. In the video, a tall ape-like shape can be seen standing between the trees. The clearest detail is the bright eye shine a reflective glow not normally seen in humans. With no native apes in the US, the footage leaves one question: could this be Bigfoot evidence? A Reddit user went into the forests of Middle Tennessee searching for a cave, but found something unexpected before reaching it. In the mud, they spotted a series of strange impressions. The tracks looked small, almost like a child's, with the toes pressed deeply into the soil, as though whatever left them had been gripping the ground as it moved ahead. Viewers noted how humanoid the prints appeared, very different from marks made by familiar animals. The find did not prove anything, but it raised questions. Some people even wondered whether the tracks could have come from a young Bigfoot. During a walk through Provo Canyon, a man was enjoying the stillness of the woods when something unusual happened.
What the?
Near the trees, a tall, dark figure abruptly stepped into sight. The strangest part is how the man reacted. He moved behind a basic split-rail fence as protection. But if a huge creature was really there, could that weak fence have helped at all? Still, no zoos were located anywhere nearby, and no exotic pet reports had come from the area. Whatever that figure actually was, it left the witnesses confused and more than a little uneasy. A Reddit user was driving into the mountains near Whitefish, Montana, close to the edge of his uncle's isolated property, searching for wildlife like deer and bears. At one point, he stopped the vehicle after noticing something that initially looked like a moose or elk partly hidden behind heavy brush. But when the animal turned and looked back at him, the whole moment changed. Its stare made him uneasy, and stories from the area, including legends of the Wendigo, came to mind. As that discomfort grew, he could not ignore the feeling that something else might be nearby. To this day, what he saw remains unexplained. A solo hiker had wandered into the wilderness, taking in the quiet until he lost sense of the time. After walking for hours, he arrived at a thick cluster of pine trees, just as the silence was broken. Heavy movement came from beyond the brush. Something big was pushing its way through. Thinking it might be a bear or another large animal, he took out his phone to record. But what the camera captured was anything but normal and far more frightening than he expected. A man was driving through an area often linked to Sasquatch reports, watching closely for anything out of the ordinary. That was when he noticed it, a tree sharply bent over and tucked behind another one, forming a strange shape in the forest. By itself, it may not look important, but in a place known for Bigfoot stories, the detail stood out. Some believed only Bigfoot could have bent and positioned the tree that way. Others said it may have grown like that naturally over time, since a sudden bend would likely have broken it. What do you think, natural growth or a sign of something else? On February 4th, 2026, a trail camera recorded something strange deep inside an American forest. During the night, a large shape appeared far away, moving between the trees. It moved on two legs. The outline looked tall and human-like, with long arms swaying beside its body. The camera struggled with the darkness, making the details difficult to see, but the figure's size was impossible to ignore. Some viewers considered it compelling evidence. Others said the poor image quality made it impossible to reach any firm conclusion. The size and shape are visible, but the clarity is not. What do you think was walking through those trees? On November 24th, 2025, Kyle Campbell was driving along an isolated logging road in British Columbia when he pulled over and began filming. A tall, upright shape stood motionless between the trees facing the road. It was not a bear. It did not move like a hiker. Campbell backed up and left. No update was ever shared. Still upright and watching the road, what do you think he saw? A TikTok group called LA Patrona El Patron Marquez posted footage recorded deep in the Oklahoma woods. They had gone back at night to collect trail cameras from a remote location. As they moved through the area, they found animal bones scattered across the ground. The bones had been cracked apart and picked completely clean. Something had been eating there, and not long before. They continued forward. At one point, a large form appeared between the trees in front of them. It was standing absolutely still. When they reached the trail camera and reviewed the video, a deer calmly walked past the lens. Moments later, an upright figure stepped into the frame, wide, long-armed, and moving with slow, careful steps. Each footfall sank into the undergrowth. Then, the clip ended without explanation. Oklahoma has had reports like this for many years. The bones on the ground suggested something had been feeding in that spot repeatedly. Whatever it was, it remained nearby when the group got there. Cleaned bones, a quiet forest, and a figure on camera that seemed out of place. This one leaves very few really simple answers behind. What do you think was out there that night? A TikTok user walking a remote trail alone at night captured audio online since played back millions of times. From the darkness ahead, a sound came through, not exactly a howl, not exactly a scream. Something between the two. It had a layered tone that seemed almost human, like a voice pressed into one sustained cry. The clip ended seconds later. Across North America, witnesses have reported similar sounds, deep, forceful, and strong enough to feel in the chest. A tone the mind reads as closer to speech than an animal call. No known animal has been confirmed as a consistent match for the noise. That detail is why it keeps spreading. What do you think made that sound in the dark? One reason Bigfoot has never been fully accepted by science is the lack of a recovered body or fossil evidence, at least none that has been publicly verified. That may have shifted if a claim that appeared online in late March and early April is true. A user called Snake the Bigfoot Hunter said he found a dead Bigfoot in the Adirondacks and now has the body on display. In one video caption, the creature was described as 8 feet tall and weighing 300 pounds. The story goes even further. According to the post, DNA was sent to Cornell University's veterinary bio DNA lab and supposedly returned results showing Neanderthal ancestry. The Six Nations tribes of New York, including the Mohawk, Oneida, Tuscarora, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca, were also mentioned as having confirmed the discovery. The body, according to the account, has since been taxidermied. If even part of this is true, it would be the biggest breakthrough in this field of research ever recorded. Still, every piece of the story remains unverified in public records. DNA results, tribal confirmation, university involvement. None of it has been independently confirmed from the time this footage appeared. What do you think? Is this genuine or another claim that will collapse under scrutiny? A new report surfaced from Malaysia, shared on April 18, 2026, a place that rarely appears in conversations like this. 2 young men were in the forest when they noticed something they did not recognize. They began filming and climbed into a tree to keep hidden. The video is blurry, but a dark, upright figure can be seen moving through the vegetation. It seemed aware of the 2 men above it. Instead of leaving it, came closer, pushing through the brush as though watching them rather than moving away. The figure appeared slightly smaller than what North American reports describe. In Malaysia, stories like this are linked to a creature called the Orang Mawaz, a name from Malay words meaning person and ape, translated as forest person. The descriptions stay fairly similar across accounts. Witnesses describe an upright figure covered in dark or reddish hair, walking on 2 legs with long arms and a strong build. Some stories say it avoids people. Others claim it can become territorial when approached too closely. What appeared in the footage seemed more curious than aggressive. What do you think was moving toward them that day? A large group of tourists in British Columbia entered the woods for sightseeing when they noticed something unexpected and started filming.
Sasquatch.
The figure appeared big, far too large to be a monkey, and moving in a way that did not match a bear. It walked upright on 2 legs. Several members of the group called it a Sasquatch almost immediately. What caught many viewers' attention was not only the footage, but also how many people were there. Faking a sighting with that many witnesses would take serious planning and coordination. Multiple witnesses' photos and video captured during the same moment. That combination is more difficult to dismiss than one person filming alone. What do you think the group saw that day? A man named Jacob Abraham had wandered off trail when he noticed something ahead that he first assumed was a bear. He took out his phone and began filming. The figure moved fast through the woods on two legs. Bears can stand on their back legs, but their stance is usually hunched and their movement much slower. What Jacob recorded did not seem to fit that. The shape traveled quickly and steadily while upright with long arms, swinging beside its body, a detail often mentioned in Bigfoot reports. He was recording from a distance through branches, yet the footage appeared clear. He never said which state he was in, only that he was miles inside the wilderness. The speed, upright posture, and arm swing, none of it looks like a bear. What do you think he filmed out there? In 2008, several hunters near the outskirts of Salakard, Russia, recorded footage that was later posted online by a Reddit user. While following game, they found something completely unrelated to the hunt. Ahead of them in the snow, they discovered a series of huge footprints. The size seemed beyond anything that would match a known animal from the area or an ordinary human foot. Some people said the sheer scale ruled out any simple explanation. Others argued that a hoax still could not be ruled out. Massive tracks in a remote place with no witness and no creature visible leave plenty of uncertainty on both sides. What do you think made those prints that day? A woman claimed she saw something in the woods while walking. After the shock passed, she managed to snap a photo before leaving the area. Whether the image truly shows what she believed she saw remains unclear. What do you think she photographed? A man was walking through the forest in daylight when something away from the trail drew his attention. His video was later posted online, where it sparked a familiar argument among viewers and researchers. Just beside the path, he discovered a large formation made from branches, logs, and scattered debris placed against nearby trees in a way that did not seem random. He filmed it, then decided to leave. He understood that whatever had created the structure might still be somewhere close. Structures like this have appeared in documented investigations for years, and no one has agreed on one clear explanation. What do you think built this one right there? On Christmas Day, 2014, a family in Minnesota was gathered inside their home when something outdoors drew their attention. While spending time indoors, they noticed a large, dark figure moving along the far tree line. They started recording. In the video, the shape seemed to pass between snow-covered trees before disappearing from view. The clip was short, and the figure never moved any closer. The footage has been debated online ever since, with no solid conclusion reached by either side. A large, dark form moving through a tree line on a quiet winter afternoon is easy to question, but difficult to dismiss. What do you think the family captured that day? On July 18, 2017, a woman named Leanne captured a series of strange vocal sounds deep in the forests of southern Ontario. According to her, the noises lasted for more than an hour. The video includes several minutes from those recordings. The calls did not sound like anything she could connect to ordinary local wildlife, and she thought they might be tied to Bigfoot activity nearby. She posted the footage and let viewers decide for themselves. Vocal sounds continuing for over an hour in a remote forest with no clear match to known animals are difficult to ignore. What do you think produced those calls?